So let's remember when we first come to our yoga mat for our practice, traditionally, and also I recommend that we come to a quiet place in our body and in our mind and in our breath before we just begin the practice. So whether you're sitting in a chair or sitting on your mat, you simply come to a nice seated position. To the best of your ability, we like to have a nice long back and find alignment from the seat bones up through the spine, through the crown of the head. We bring our shoulders back and down. Chin is in a neutral position. Again, you can always use a prop or a cushion underneath your seat bones to lift the hips up and allow the knees to fall gently down. Let's bring our hands, palms up into the classic yoga mudra, thumb to pointer finger. Close the eyes. And let's just begin to breathe and quiet ourselves. If you find any tension or stress in the seated position, it's best to start all over again. Find more props underneath the hips, between the knees, underneath the ankles, whatever you need to do so that you can really enjoy this pose. Allow the belly to be soft. It doesn't matter how much it comes out. And as you start now to bring the focus from just the physical posture to the breath, gently in each exhale. Why do we do that? Why is the exhale active? Part of the reason is because you have a major nerve that runs through the diaphragm and then up through the spine and into the brain, called the vagus nerve. And as we purposefully, mindfully take that exhalation with the abdomen contracting in, we're helping push the diaphragm up. And the movement of the diaphragm is stimulating in a soft way that vagus nerve, which is then communicating with the central nervous system, which is then communicating with the part of the nervous system which encourages relaxation. So that's why our breath is so important in everything we do in our practice and in our life. Let's stay here, focusing on that active exhale, passive inhale. Sometimes we have a tendency that we become so relaxed, we actually start to round our back and round the shoulders. So ever so often, do a quick check, find that alignment. It's important to have a straight spine to the best of our ability, which means our torso is straight and there's room for all the organs in the abdominal cavity and in the thoracic cavity to function at their peak capability, because there's room. When we're all hunched over, there's no room. Inhale your hands to heart center. Palms have equal weight against one another. Thumbs are lightly touching at the center of the chest. Shoulders are soft, elbows are down. When we chant Om, we do it in 3 parts. As we do the exhalation, chanting, The first sound is ah, with a big open mouth, very open throat. Ah. As we go to the part of we don't do anything in our throat, we simply close our lips. That forces the air towards the top palate of the mouth, stimulating nerve endings there. And then we simply continue the sound, but we close our lips and we come into the sound. So it's ah, ooh, But you don't have to do anything with your throat. Simply continue with the air passing through the vocal cords and just change the position of your mouth. And you can play with it. You can have a longer ah, a longer a longer ooh, and you're going to feel a different energetic inside. So with our hands in heart center, let us share the pranava 4 times and just play with how you want to hold it. Take a breath in. Last one. Followed by 3 shantis. Take a breath in. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Hold here. So shanti is the word for peace in Sanskrit. Peace in body, mind, and spirit. The SH sound actually also has the subtle energetics, denoting peace and harmony. And exhale, let's release. Let's come into child's pose. I wanted to quickly go through the first group of Pawan Muktasana, where we soften up the major joints and start engaging the major muscles. But sometimes we're not even ready for that yet because we're not comfortable sitting. So let's come into child's pose and just start lengthening the back, opening through the shoulders, warming up the hips and knees. Again, you can use a prop underneath your head, between your knees. Your knees can be together, they can be apart, just play with it. I think by now you're more accustomed to what your body needs to warm up. As you come into position and you're reviewing your physical posture, when you feel comfortable there, start to review your breath and bring that awareness more inward to the feeling of the breath. And just allow the central nervous system to calm down and come to peace in quietness. Let's stay here a little bit longer. Coming out of the pose, lift the head, lengthen the back first. And then as you inhale, draw the hands back towards the body, sitting up. On our heels in Vajrasana. Find your alignment here again. If you have a tendency to arch the back, just engage that little pelvic tilt to straighten it. Bring the shoulders back. Hands are resting lightly on our thighs. Head is in neutral position. Big belly breath. And I find a downward facing dog is always a nice way to warm up. So first come to neutral tabletop. Let's undulate the spine in cow and cat. Inhale, look up. And exhale into cat. Inhale. And exhale. Use the abdomen to draw into your cat. Inhale, relax through the front line. Exhale, draw it in. Last one, inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Feel free to take any movement that you like in this position to start to warm up. Just remember, we're pushing through the shoulders. We're not dumping our weight through our shoulders and hands. Thinking about lifting the sit bones up towards the sky, lengthening it back, relaxing the head. The heels will come down on their own. Don't worry about that. Don't force it, because if you introduce tension there, you start to mess up the alignment of your hips and back. It'll happen. Let's come out of the pose, straight into child's pose. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, gently bring the knees down, release the feet, and child's pose. Coming out to Vajrasana, lift the head, lengthen the back. Inhale, draw the hands to the body and sit up in Vajrasana. Coming into the first group, Apalamuttasana, Dandasana or staff pose. Now in the staff pose, we do our best to sit right on our sits bones. If that's challenging, go ahead and put a blanket underneath you. If you find it a challenge also to keep the torso straight up, hands can be slightly behind your hips and you lean back with elbows straight. I can't demonstrate it, but you know what I mean. So your hands are flat down, and this way you can have a nice open torso here. You can also have your hands in line with your hips, fingertips down, roll the shoulders back. I have a slight flexion in the ankle here, but I'm not tensing the muscles. We're in Dandasana. Let's start with the ankles. Inhale, I point. Exhale, I flex. Remember, the thighs do nothing. It's all here in the calf muscle. This is where the movement is. Sitting up nice and straight. Let's begin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Knees are soft. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. Focusing on the toes. Inhale, I scrunch them up. Exhale, I open them up. Let's begin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead, point the toes. Ankle rotations. Remember, the thighs do nothing. It's all in the lower body that is moving the ankle. Inhale to the right. Let's begin. Inhale to the right. Come to center. Exhale to the left. And come back to pointing the toes. Again, inhale up to center. And exhale down. Change direction. Inhale to the left. And exhale. Knees keep pointing up. Inhale to the left. And exhale. Let's do it one more time. Watch your knees. Inhale to the left. And exhale. Bring your feet or ankles into a gentle flexion. Let's simply tighten the thighs and then release. Nothing is happening here now in the lower body. Inhale, we tighten. Exhale, we release. Sitting up nice and straight. Let's begin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Moving on to the knee joint. Right leg. Inhale, I bring the knee in towards the chest. Exhale, I extend. Alrighty? Let's begin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale the knee in and exhale, release the leg back down to the mat. Left side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Inhale in, exhale, release. Moving on to the hips, let's come into butterfly position. Hold here. Lengthen the back, providing nice room for the abdominal organs and the lung to function and the heart. Chin is in neutral position, hold. And let's have movement, bring the knees up and down, slow breath, that doesn't change. And release down to a static position. Exhale, release the feet forward. Now let's open up into a straddle. Still focusing on the hip. No, let's have our legs, sorry, 1 foot apart, because we'll be opening each leg separately. Right leg first, I lift it up, turn the hip out. So as a whole unit, my knee, my foot, they're all turning out. Inhale, I open the straddle. Exhale, I turn the whole leg as a unit inward and exhale in. Alrighty? If you find this challenging to have the leg lifted up off the ground, go ahead and slide it on the floor. Because remember, we're working on understanding and being aware of the opening of the hip. So we're sitting up nice and straight, beginning with the right leg, with the right leg up, and inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. One more. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Release, left leg. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close, and release. Moving on to the upper body, sitting up nice and straight in our Dandasana. Inhale, the arms up in front of you, roll the shoulders back, palms are down. Now, as I'm sitting here, I'm nice and relaxed to the lower body. There's no tension here. Inhale, flex the wrists up. Exhale, flex them down. Ready? Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Don't let your shoulders creep. Exhale down. Keep them down. Inhale up. And exhale. Keep them right here. Make a fist. Inhale, open the fist, open the fingers and flex. Exhale, close the fist and extend the wrist down. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, closing. Inhale, up. Exhale, closing. One more. Inhale, up. Exhale, closing. Stay here. Rotations, wrists. Inhale the wrist up. To the center, exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale. Switch sides. Inhale up. And exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. Turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Elbows. Inhale the hand to the shoulder. And exhale, extend the elbow. Inhale in. And exhale. Inhale in. And exhale. Inhale in. And exhale. Both hands inhaling towards the shoulder. Open the elbows to the outside. Movement, inhale, I bring the elbows in front of me. Exhale, I open up. Lengthen through the spine, head is in neutral. Let's begin. Inhale to the center, and exhale, open up. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Keep your elbows where they are. Simply take the hands, open them up, palms facing forward like a cactus. Inhale the arms up overhead. As you exhale, sweep the arms to the side and behind you. Again, inhale up and exhale behind. Inhale up, exhale behind. Last one, inhale up and exhale behind. Lightly bringing your hands to the floor again in whatever position is good for you. Focusing on the neck. Inhale, I lift the chin. Exhale, I bring it down towards the chest. The shoulders do not move. Let's begin. Inhale up and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale up and exhale. Coming back to neutral position. Looking to the side, the right side. Inhale to the center. and exhale to the right. Inhale, center, and exhale to the left. Inhale, center, exhale to the right. Inhale, and exhale. Last one, inhale to the center, and hold. Let's really perfect our Dandasana right now. Hold here. Soft knees, soft thighs, gentle flexion in the ankle. Exhale, release. Let's come onto our back, knees to chin. Roll from side to side. All together, coming to the center. Let's deepen the pose. Remember, this is about lengthening the spine. So even if my knees are not as close to my chest as I would like, I'm relaxing through the hips, allowing the coccyx to touch the mat, feeling my spine on the mat. Head is in neutral position, shoulders are wide on the mat, even if I have to open my knees to do that. Holding here. Find your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching it up. Take your hands to hold the left knee. Let's bring the left knee centered on the left side of the chest. As you exhale, extend the right leg down the mat. Now square the hips. This is a really good way to be aware of when your hip points are square. Again, even if that means that your left knee is not as close to your chest as you would like, I would like your hips to be squared off. Let's hold here. I have a gentle flexion in both ankles, which, remember, has nothing to do with my thighs, it's all in the calf. Relax the lower back. Try not to introduce tension there. Four, 3, 2, 1. Use it in pelvic tilt. We'll bring the right leg up towards the sky. Take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, and then you just float that right leg straight up. Let's switch sides. Go ahead and bend the right knee. And as you exhale, in control, extend the left leg down the mat. Same thing here. Take your time to adjust to this position. Relaxing the hips, squaring them off. Gentle flexion in both ankles without introducing tension into the thigh. As you bring the right knee closer, try not to sacrifice the squareness of the hips or introduce tension into the lower back. It's a balancing game so that we use the appropriate muscles and allow the appropriate joints to open up. Let's hold here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing, let's use that pelvic tilt to bring the left leg up towards the sky. Take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, and then just float that leg up. Release the left leg and right leg so that the feet are on the mat behind your buttocks. Let's review the pelvic tilt since we use it so often. Hands are behind your head if it's comfortable. Feet are planted, more or less hip width apart. I'm just very comfortable here. My knees are hip width apart. Remember, this pelvic tilt is done with the abdomen. There is no tension in the thighs or the glutes. You do it at the bottom of the exhale. If you do it at the top of your exhale, your diaphragm and the pelvic girdle are not in the correct position, and you're not going to get the full benefit of this move. All righty? So let's do 10 together. Take a breath in, exhale, contract, and now tilt up. Release. Inhale, exhale, contract, tilt. Release. Inhale, exhale, contract, and tilt. 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 One more. Inhale, exhale, contract, and tilt. And just come to a neutral position. So if you have issues with your lower back, where the muscles get really tight, this is really, really wonderful to do. Any kind of a pelvic tilt on your back will help to loosen up those tight muscles. Another way we can loosen up the back is through a spinal twist. So let's release the hands, extend them out, palms up. Now, even here, I bring my shoulders a little lower, away from my ears. My head is in neutral. Using a pelvic tilt, let's float the knees over the hips. Take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, and float the knees up. Exhale, knees float to the right, you look to the left. Now, in this position, we may notice that our hips are no longer square. The top hip is further away, let's say towards the left. So if we want to correct that, take your left hand, slide it along the floor. So as I inhale, I slide it along the floor, up over my head. Sorry. And then over to meet my right hand. So palm on top of palm, I'm on my right shoulder and side, and now my hips are squared off. Keeping your focus on the hips being square. Step by step, let's go back into the position. Take that left hand, inhale, slide it up over your head. Hold right here. Okay. Most likely you're still square, so take that left shoulder and bring it back. As you exhale, simply open up the left shoulder, left chest towards the sky. The head is towards the sky now. The hand is still overhead. Now, it's at this position that we may start to feel some tension, whether it's in the hip, the lower back, or even the abdomen. So I'm trying to keep my hips square as best I can. As I exhale, I draw that left hand down to the original position. Now for me, if I keep my hips squared, my hand is no longer touching the floor, nor is my left shoulder. So this is where you have the balancing act. You don't want to overcompensate and force your shoulder down if there's no movement in the hips or spine to allow it. At the same time, if you bring your hand easily down, but you don't have your hips squared anymore, You've just compensated in the opposite way. So you don't want to force anything, but you want to play with that awareness of where can I loosen the muscular tension throughout the back and chest to find a balanced spinal twist. So let's play with that a little bit more. Remember, your breath is your friend. Sometimes I just like to stay at a point of tension and try and relax and see what happens. And then as I feel a little more relaxed, I feel more space opening in the joints. I feel lengthening through the muscles. I'll open up the pose a little bit more and see where I'm at. The important thing here is to be aware of the balancing act that is unique to each of your bodies. Let's stay here just a few more breaths before we move on. All right, stabilize yourself so that we can roll to the other side. So for me, that means I need to unsquare my hips and bring my left shoulder down so that I feel stable when I bring the knees to the center and over to the other side. So all together, take a breath in, exhale, contract, tilt, float the knees up and all the way to the other side. So hold here, just sort of notice what's going on. And then let's bring that right hand, inhale it, bring it up, overhead, and then all the way over. Square up. And then inhale, release the right arm up overhead. Hold here. And as you exhale, roll that right shoulder down. And then start playing with the position. Where you've got that interplay between squared hip, relaxing the muscles along the spine to allow the shoulder to open. Could be your neck is involved too, so be very careful. Perhaps you'd rather have your gaze pointing up in the center until you feel some loosening in the neck muscles to allow the head to gaze to the right. You'll also feel a different sensation through the hips if your feet are closer to the buttocks or in a 90-degree angle with your knees. So very gently and slowly, that's another way you can play with this pose. Again, it's balance. Balancing, lengthening of muscles, opening of joints. So let's stay here for a few more breaths. Coming out of the pose, come to a stable position. All together, take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, knees come up. Knees to chest one more time and hold. Exhale, release the hands to the sides, release the legs, extend them down the mat. Let's do a nice sit up straight into a Dandasana with arms extended. So to do that, flex the ankles gently. Inhale the arms up overhead. Now using that pelvic tilt as the first step to help do the sit up. All right, so take a breath in. Exhale, contract, tilt, and now bring the arms up. Continue up. Extend the arms up high. We're in a beautiful Dandasana. Hold. Exhale, release. Let's come to a standing position, Tadasana. Let's review our position again. So in Ashtanga Vinyasa, traditionally the big toes are together, or the bone behind the big toe is together, and the heels are slightly apart. That's good for men who have a different center of gravity. For women, you may feel more comfortable having your feet hip width apart. How do you know what's hip width apart? Put your two fists together and have them fit in between your feet. That's hip width apart. Look down at your feet. You don't want them duck foot or pigeon. You want them nice and straight in front. And then Jessie gave a wonderful cue that I will always remember of how to lift the arch. We bring attention to the big toe and to the outer back heel. And that causes the ankles to rotate in slightly, which causes the engagement of several minute muscles in the foot, which is really a healthy thing for your foot. As we engage lifting the arches, our knees automatically come into alignment over the heel. As we do that, automatically, our hips have a slight rotation, so we have a nice alignment now. And this is really important whether you're standing on 2 feet or 1 foot, sorry. All right, if we tend to arch our back, little pelvic tilt. Roll the shoulders up and back. Shine the heart without arching the back. Head is in neutral position. If I am able to bring my arms back in line through the front side of my body, my hands automatically should be right here on the side of my thigh. So let's stay here, Tadasana. Now that we're all in Tadasana, soft belly breath. It's also nice to do this against the wall because sometimes we have a tendency to lean forward or back, or even a little bit to the side, and we don't even know it because we've been habitually standing in that way for so many years. So you can always use a wall to help. All right, Tadasana, let's go on to side bends. Open up the hands, inhale the arms up. Okay, right here, before we even do the side bend, drop the shoulders, head is in neutral. Maintaining the integrity of your bottom leg. Hips are squared. As you exhale, keep the hips square as you bend to the right. So nothing is happening in the lower body. I'm really anchoring down through my feet and my hips, which are square. And I'm releasing tension on the left side as I find the side bend. If your left shoulder tends to come forward, bring it back. Perhaps you can't do the side bend as far as you want to, but at least you're keeping the integrity of the spine. Again, it's that balance. You don't want to come down farther, but then make it more into a forward bend by having your left shoulder in front. So keep it back. Feel equal weight on both feet. Don't lose that lifted arch. Think about your head. Is it going forward or back or to the side? Try and keep it right in the middle. I'm thinking about my shoulder blades to keep my shoulders down and relaxed, so I'm not introducing tension into the upper back. Coming out, inhale, slowly come out. You come back to your neutral position. Left side, take a breath in and exhale to the left. So go slowly, keep anchoring through those squared hips. Lengthening the spine without letting the shoulders rise up to the ears. You don't want to have any compression through the spine. Coming out of the pose, inhale, come back up. And now stay where you are. Let's go through the steps of a safe back bend where we don't hurt our lower back, shoulders, or neck. So if you tend to arch your back, bring the pelvis in. Think about lengthening the spine, now drop the shoulders. So let's do this in steps. Maintaining the integrity of my lower body. As I inhale, I first drop my shoulders behind me. Now doing that sometimes starts compression and arching of the back. So then I do a little review all over again. Then I think inhale, lengthen the back. As I exhale, I drop the head, try to shine the heart, and come into my back bend. Keep lengthening the back so there's no compression. We're lengthening through the top line here, relaxing, and opening up through the heart. If you tend to have pain in the neck or you get dizzy, keep the head more in a neutral position rather than back. Don't sacrifice the back bend and let your shoulders come up to the ears. I'd rather you came out of the back bend a little bit more until your shoulders are in position. Inhale, gently come back out. Come back to your neutral position. Exhale, release your hands to the sides. Forward fold. Let's keep our hands on our thighs, but let's try and come down with a straight back. Roll the shoulders up and back. Integrity of the lower body. Take a breath in. As you exhale, I'm hinging at the hips and bringing my weight forward. Trying to notice that my hips maintain their alignment over the heels the whole time. So that may mean you have a little more tension in your toes. And as we come down, we release the head, release the hands. First one of the day, so it doesn't really matter where you are, just relax into it. You can even bend your knees. You bend your knees, round your back, tuck the chin. You're going to find lengthening through the long muscles that run along the spine. And that can feel really good. That will also release some tension, excuse me, over the hips and through the buttocks. So there's nothing wrong with bending your knees in a forward fold. It's a wonderful way to start lengthening. Let's stay here. Once you feel relaxed through the upper body, if you want to straighten your knees without hyperextending them, go ahead. If you're not ready, then just wait. No matter where your knees are, let's take those shoulders and roll them behind us. So now there is a little bit of tension as I'm thinking about my shoulder blades, bringing them down and together, away from my ears, my shoulders, I mean. Just let gravity take the weight of the head a little further down without the shoulders. And let's come out safely through a reverse swan dive. So to do that safely, bend the knees first. Lift the head, lengthen the back. So as I lift my head and lengthen the back, I'm almost coming to a half back. Inhale your arms out to the sides, palms down right now. If I inhale again, I flip the palms up, I hinge at the hips, lift the torso, extend the arms overhead, slight pelvic tilt, and exhale, release the hands. Swan dive, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. Bend the knees, keep the back straight, hips over the heels. Exhale, hinge at the hips, open the arms out to the side, flat back as I come down into my forward fold, release the hands. Perhaps fingertips are in line with the toes. Tuck the chin, roll the shoulders back, straighten the knees. Reverse swan dive to come out. Bend the knees, lift the head, lengthen the back. Coming up to a bit of a half back. Hips are over the heels. Inhale the arms out to the side. Inhale again, hinge at the hips. Rise up, extend the arms up high, slight pelvic tilt, and exhale, release. Let's review warrior two. Coming to the middle of your mat, facing forward. Hands can be on hips, and let's walk our feet apart. Now, again, it's more Ashtanga Vinyasa in Hatha. To have the full 100% expression, when we extend our arm out to the side, our wrist and our foot will be the same distance apart. That could, if that's what you want, the ideal physical position, that's where you're at. All right, just so that you can measure it out for yourself. I'm not there, so I'm going to close my feet a little bit more. Okay, right side, warrior two. Let's start with the left foot. We do not want it duck-footed. It should be parallel to the short side of the mat or slightly turned in by 45 degrees. Now this is going to have an effect on your hip, on how open your hip is. So you want to play with that a little bit, okay? Hips are square. Take that right foot, lift the toes up, turn the right foot towards the right side of the mat. Again, square your hips. You don't want to overcompensate, square the hip, but then have the right knee pointing forward. The right knee should be pointing towards the short side of the mat, hips are square. How do I make sure my knees don't roll in? Exterior rotation of the whole leg. It starts by lifting the arch, causing the knee to come into position, and then a little extra focus on that exterior rotation that you feel here in the inner thigh. Torso is nice and straight. Inhale the arms up on the line. Look at the right hand. Now here you may see that to compensate for that open hip, you've actually started to arch the back. So a little pelvic tilt there. Now I've introduced a little more tension into the abs. just to have that pelvic tilt. Exhale, bend the knee. Here, we like to have the knee over the ankle. I don't want it to go in front of it, okay? Because I want to have a nice integrity here with that alignment. If you find that you can go deeper, rather than moving the front leg, move the back leg further behind you without losing that squared hip. This is your warrior two. Soft belly, open chest, shoulders back. Find that movement in the neck, nice free movement of the neck to look at the right hand. I always take a look down also at my position to make sure my knees are in position, my feet, and then I settle into it. How do I make sure that I'm not dumping my weight into my pelvis? External rotation, lifting the arch, pelvic tilt. Let's switch to the other side. Inhale the arms up. Now, swivel, square off, and exhale, come back down. Left side. Take a moment to physically review where you're at, and then hold. Moving on to warrior one on the other side. Inhale the arms up. I'm going to swivel, but this time my hips are pointing towards the short side of the mat. The back leg is either going to be parallel to the left side, short side of the mat, or 45-degree angles in. Ideally, so that your hip points are pointing forward. Now, there may be issues with the ankle joint. Perhaps you don't have that movement in terms of flexion. So what do? You either bring your toes in a little bit more, pointing forward, or you shorten the distance between both legs. Important thing in warrior one, hips are squared. So you need to play with the distance of your feet to have squared hips. Remember, we're talking about not only physical energetics, but subtle energetics within the body. So to the best of our capability, we want to have correct alignment. I'm squared off. Extend the spine, lengthen the spine. Inhale the arms up overhead, drop the shoulders, head is in neutral. Exhale, bend that knee. Keep lengthening through the spine, engage that exterior rotation so that we're not dumping our weight into our feet. Always extending up, we're nice and light. Back leg, you should have a straight knee but not hyperextended. And let's switch to the other side. As you inhale, swivel, switch the feet, square the hips, and exhale, come down into warrior one. Take a look at your shoulders. Are they also squared in line with your hips? Or is one shoulder a little forward? Bring it back. Coming back to Tadasana. As you inhale, shift the weight forward and then step forward. Tadasana. And exhale, release the hands. Review of warrior three. Standing leg is the left leg. So find your Tadasana. Go through the steps. Toes, arch, knees, hips, back. Shift the weight to the left standing leg, bringing the right knee in front first. All right, square those hips off. Find the integrity of that standing leg. We don't want the left hip to pop out. So we want to keep it, all this energy going up. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Now as I exhale, I hinge at the hips coming forward and I bring that right leg behind me. Extend the right leg behind, square the hips, and hold. Inhale, gently come out. I lost my balance. And come back to Tadasana. So you can hold your hands in different positions, and that's the fun part, okay? When you hold your arms a little closer to the body, either at heart center or perhaps straight down, or even out to the side, there's less weight in terms of using the core muscles to hold your upper body in position. If you choose to do it with your arms extended, then we need to engage and be a little bit more aware of the core muscles. Alrighty, so you can play with that. Let's do the opposite side. In Tadasana, shift the weight to the right leg. Inhale, bring the left knee up. Square off. Really be aware of the strength of the standing leg. Choose your arm position. And exhale, hinge at the hips. Bring the left leg behind you, square off. And come into position. Inhale, release. Come back. All right, triangle review. Let's come to the center of our mat. Again, open up the legs. Same measurement that we just did for warrior two, in terms if you want the ideal 100% expression. All right, left leg, same thing, left foot is warrior two. It's either parallel or slightly turned in. Right foot, inhale, lift the right toes up, point them towards the short side of the mat, square off. Now here there can be a lot of tension on that right knee. You don't want to hurt your right knee. So external rotation, strong external rotation here. Inhale the arms up on the line. Look at the right hand. Strong focus on external rotation of that front knee. Exhale, shift the weight. Now sometimes here I like to lift my toes up and then gently bring them down, just to be aware of my alignment. Exhale, let's come down into triangle. It's about extending the spine forward. You don't want to crunch up, expand forward. You can even take that left arm, which is going up, and bring it towards your ear, your left ear. Look underneath your armpit to help you think about extending the spine. Don't let your weight go backwards. Keep your hips in line with the heels. Never, never let go of the external rotation on that front leg. To safely come out of this pose, first bend the right knee. Then inhale and come up into a warrior two. Now you may notice that your torso is still forward, so bring it back over your hips. Look to the right. Let's do the opposite side. Inhale the arms up. Swivel. Square off. Exhale, bring the hands down. Look at the left hand, protect the left leg. Exhale, extend. I do a little check. Sometimes I have the tendency to let my back shoulder come forward, so I bring it back. Exhale, let's come into the triangle. Extend the spine. Keep lifting up out of your bones. You don't want to dump your weight into the mat. Gently coming out. Bend that left knee first. Inhale, rise up into warrior two. Let's do an extended side angle. Inhale the arms up. Swivel to the opposite side. Start with the right warrior two. Right hand gently comes down to the right thigh. Open up the left palm. Inhale the left arm up overhead. Square off. Square the hips, square the shoulders. It's a side bend. As you exhale, side bend, I'm anchoring through my left foot, extending through the side, through the tips of my left arm, left hand. Drop that shoulder behind you. It really helps if you're able to have your head turn towards the left, looking under your left armpit. That helps keep the spine in nice alignment. Coming out, inhale, simply reverse. Come back to warrior two. Looking to the right. Reverse warrior. Gently bring the left hand down to the left thigh. Now there's no weight on this left hand, okay? Open up the palm of the right hand. Inhale the right arm up. Square off. Exhale. Bring the side bend towards the left, but there's no weight here. Now, to make sure you're not dumping weight into that left knee, strong exterior rotation, which is opening up the hips and squaring them. And inhale, let's come right back to warrior two. Opposite side, warrior two on the left. Inhale the arms up. Swivel, square off. Exhale, warrior two. Extended side angle. Drop the left hand, open the right palm. Inhale the arm up, square off. And exhale, extended side angle. Anchor through that right leg now. There's no weight here on the left hand. Square off the shoulders in line with the squared hips. Coming out, inhale, reverse, come right back to warrior two. Reverse warrior, drop the right hand, open the left palm, inhale the arm up, square off, and exhale to the right. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Wide straddle, inhale the arms up. Turn that left foot in. So now both feet are either pigeon-toed or slightly, or parallel with the short sides of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Reach forward. And come down. Hips are in line with the heels. Roll the shoulders back. Drop the head. Coming out of the pose, as you inhale, lift the head up, lengthen the back, keep the hands on the mat. Just lengthen the back here. Bring the shoulders behind you. Coming up with a flat back, inhale, extend the arms in front, head is in between the arms, and then inhale, hinge at the hips, come up, and exhale, release. Toe heel, back to Tadasana. Review your Tadasana. And relax. Let's go through sun salutation and review of all the different poses in there so that we feel really confident of the sequence. Come to the top of your mat in Tadasana. So when we do sun salutations, it's always nice to take a moment in Tadasana to close our eyes And in our mind's eye, see the rising sun. The rising sun symbolizes not only the new day, warmth and life, but it's also the light of knowledge and true wisdom. So the sun salutation is not just a mechanical exercise, but it can have a deeper meaning for us too, if we like. So we're in Tadasana, open up the eyes, let's begin. Hands are open, inhale the arms up. Take this time to look at your hands, drop the shoulders, lengthen the spine. Exhale to your heart. Again, take the time to maintain the integrity of your lower body. Equal weight on each hand, thumbs are lightly touching the heart center. Inhale the arms up for a back bend. Anchor through the hips don't move as you find your back bend. So you need to release the tension through the belly, extend the spine, hips are square, they don't move forward or back. As you exhale, you come into the forward fold of your choice. Take your time to find your alignment, hips over heels, shoulders are not hanging out by your ears. Inhale, you step the right foot back and come right into a lunge, looking forward. So here we're releasing tension through the right hip. You can have your left knee over the left ankle if you want, or you can keep it squared up and feel more opening here. It really depends on the movement of your joints, what feels safe for you, okay? I like to do this because I need to introduce more range of motion in my left ankle and left knee just because of the arthritis, so I like to do it. But it's your choice. Let's roll those shoulders back. Ideally, it would be really nice if our hands can be flat on the mat, shoulders back, and we have a beautiful straight line from the coccyx to the crown of the head. From here, inhale, step back into plank. We're going to stay here for one more breath. And as we exhale, knees, chest, chin. So this is all about the back. You want to have our sit bones up, a nice curve through the back. The chin is on the mat. And then as you inhale, you lengthen and rise up into a cobra. In your cobra, lengthen the legs, feel the hip points on the mat, feel the belly button on the mat, roll the shoulders back. Head can be a neutral or thrown back, depending on constitution of your own body. So here, I'm relaxing and lengthening through the front of my body. At the same time, I'm anchoring through the hips, lengthening the legs. Exhale, rise up into downward facing dog. Hold it here for 5 breaths as you lengthen the back, push through the shoulders, relax the head. Don't worry about the hamstrings, they'll lengthen with time. So we'll hold here for 5. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Looking at your hands, inhale, come right into your right-sided lunge. Exhale to a forward fold. Your choice. Inhale, rise up into your back bend. And exhale, come back to heart center. Release the hands. So what's important here with all these sequential movements is that you come to alignment each time. So when I'm coming out of my lunge and coming right into a forward fold, I'm thinking about my hips over my ankles. I'm thinking about my shoulders back. Thinking about relaxing the head and letting the weight bring me down. As I inhale from my forward fold right into the back bend, same thing. I'm thinking about alignment of my lower body. I'm thinking about anchoring here through my lower body as I then continue through the back bend. All right, so you want to go through all the steps and they become more and more fluid with practice. So thinking about all those connections, let's do the left side. Open up the palms, inhale the arms up, lift the head, exhale to heart center, balance. Inhale, back bend, anchor through the hips, shine the heart. Exhale, forward fold, hips over the heels, relax. Inhale, left lunge, opening up, square the hips, square the shoulders. Inhale, step back to plank. Stay here for one more inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Relax through the back. Open the shoulders. Inhale, rise up to cobra. Hold here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Looking at your hands. Inhale, step forward to left lunge. Exhale, step forward to forward fold. Inhale, rise up to back bend. And exhale, come back. Release your hands, Tadasana, close your eyes. Find that alignment, really working on the mind memory here. And exhale, release. Come down to your mat, Savasana position. We're going to review some breathing techniques. So let's put one hand low on the belly by the pelvis, another one on the rib cage. And let's just have a simple breath here. Just feeling the movement of the breath. Now I know this may seem, for some, a little slow and maybe not as exciting as the asana practice, but it's just as important to bring and develop awareness of our breath technique as it is to our asana. Because as we move beyond the mechanical portion of the asana practice, it deepens into an awareness of the breath practice. And as we deepen the breath practice of our asanas, we start to engage the bandhas that we've spoken about. And as we deepen that, we move even further into our yoga practice as we move beyond just the gross physical body into the more subtle energetics. So you guys are all, if you're not already doing it, you certainly are ready to have this kind of deeper awareness. So now let's move into the three-part yoga breath where I first feel the inhalation at the lower belly. As I continue to inhale, I feel my ribs expanding outward. And at the top of the inhale, I feel my chest moving up. And then as I exhale, I simply reverse that awareness. So let's stay here for 1 minute and practice that. Let's do 4 more breaths here. And then return to normal breath and let your hands fall to the sides. Let's stay here in Savasana. I'm going to make a special recording that I'll make available to all of you more on the pranayama techniques since we didn't really have time to review that today. But for now, let's enjoy a Savasana. gently coming out of your Savasana. Remember, if you're doing this at home, please do not skip a Savasana, even if it's only as short as 2 or 3 minutes. Because this is when the subtle energetics of your practice are realized, and even the physical benefits of going through your practice are cemented during Savasana. And even as you come out of Savasana, take your time, starting with the smaller joints and muscles and moving up to the larger ones, always staying focused in your practice right to the end. Staying here with that awareness of your body and mind and emotions as you go through the practice, waking up from your Savasana. Sometimes when you're doing your own home practice, if you know you only have an hour, I would recommend that you skip a few of the physical poses in order to have a Savasana. That's more important than holding a warrior two for 4 minutes. It's more important to have time for the Savasana and to really find a nice, tranquil closure to your practice. So let's roll on to our right-hand side. And then exhale, push up, and let's all meet in a seated position. So I guess if it hasn't become apparent yet, this is our last class until next year. And I just wanted to end on a note where you feel more comfortable with the different physical and breath cues as you go through your practice at home on your own. So let's finish up. Sharing the pranava one time. Remember how we pronounce Om. Allow those energetics to vibrate through them. Just sitting at nice and straight. Inhale your hands to heart center. Take a breath in. Shanti, shanti, shanti.
Shanti, shanti.
And exhale, bow down to the feet of the day. And then come up. Namaste, everyone. We wish you happy holidays.
Happy holidays, happy Christmas, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy. And I really hope that you will be able to feel confident to continue your practice until I see you again next year. And if you have any questions or concerns about a sequence or a pose, just email me and I'm very happy to speak with you.
Lovely. Thanks for including me again, Corinne.
Thank you, Corinne.
Thank you, Corinne. It's been magical. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Sharing time on the mat.
I've had a great